Welcome back to the Anxious. Start again. Welcome back to the Anxious Personality with me, Sarah B, from Coaching with Sarah B. Before we start, if you could please screenshot this podcast, share it on social media, and tag me at Coaching with Sarah B, or you can tag my new limited company, Worth More Group. So, this week has, again, I feel like it's been a bit of a non-descriptive week, and a lot of you are on Easter holidays and probably feel like it's probably been a bit of either a nondescript week or everything feels like it's been happening because you've had all the kids to deal with and all of the extra things to juggle. And I always feel like Easter is just a bit of a weird time, isn't it? People tend to go into like a weird transition mode because it's stepping into spring, and spring is obviously when new lease of life is born. You know, all the lambs are out and the daffodils spring up and all the flowers and all the colours change, and it is the time where things do start to be reborn. And if you are quite a spiritual person, you'll kind of have this idea and you'll know about it anyways. And I do feel like this week there has been a lot of that for me. So nothing particular has happened, but I do feel like there's been energy shifts that do correlate with the concept of newborn, and being reborn and transformation and new life and all that kind of jazz. So obviously if you listen to last week's podcast and last week's episode, you will know that I started my new part-time job at the gym, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to go down because I haven't actually been employed by someone for like 3 years, and I had 7 shifts on the bounce, which was it was mad. It went really, really quick, and I actually really enjoyed it, to my surprise. It's definitely a bit of me. It's meeting and greeting people. It's speaking to people. It's having a crack with people. It's speaking to them about general day-to-day life, what they're struggling with, and just being there for people. Obviously then, you know, working in a gym, it's the obvious things of helping people with memberships and any queries they've got about their membership and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of me. I had a lot of early shifts, which you all know probably by now that I am a morning bird, which doesn't go down with some of the staff who are also on a morning shift with me, and they're just like, for the love of God, Sarah, please will you just not have so much energy at 5:30 in the morning. But some of the members absolutely loved it, and it was really nice that some people, well, I'm not sure if it was a compliment or not, but some of the members actually picked up on the fact that I was new, not just because I was a new face, but because I had a lot of energy. They were like, yeah, that will soon go. I'm like, no, it won't. It really won't, because I think I'm just so grateful that I've done so much work on myself in the last couple of years that I'm really seeing a difference in myself, especially now stepping into the workplace environment again, of actually like being employed by someone. I really do think this is going to be almost like a bit of a test for me, in the sense of showing me how much I've grown and the things that I've implemented and the tools that I've learned, and putting them into place within a workplace environment. So I'm really excited to kind of see that and watch that unfold. And after a full week of shifts in this job, I still feel like really upbeat about it, and I still feel really happy with it. You know, obviously there is going to be elements of that it is the people that I work with. They're all really lovely, everyone's so nice, and it does feel like a team, rather than I have worked in places before where it's felt like the managers and the staff, and it's kind of been a bit of like them and us. But it doesn't really feel like that at the gym, and it's really nice that everyone is like a collective and everyone pitches in, which is just, yeah, I think from my point of view, it's been few and far between in terms of places that I've worked in the past. So yeah, but I think the biggest thing that I want to kind of discuss and chat about this week is the power of manifestation. Whether you believe in this or not, it happens and it's real. Whether you believe in it or not, you might think it's coincidence or whatever, but power of manifestation is so real. And I think since starting this part-time position and being on the front desk and speaking to members, I've had a bit of a shift. I've had a bit of an energy shift, and I've kind of just like released all control, which I thought I had done, but now it's evident that I hadn't. But I have released just all control, because now I have, you know, a steady 20 hours a week. I know I'm going to get paid X amount at the end of the month, and I know that's going to come in regardless. And it has just kind of like let me feel like things are easy again, or easier anyways. And I know that actually being in there, it is aligned in the sense of, like I say, it is a bit of me chatting to everyone and chatting to the members and just being of service. But also it allows me to have conversations with people who need further help, people who need PT services, people who need you know, some mindset coaching or work on their self-worth, or, you know, there's things that need to be worked on, uncovered, and just spoken about. And it also gives me the opportunity to speak to people about the different kind of ways that they can help themselves, whether that is through one-to-one PT, or whether that's, you know, not quite in their price bracket. Then they can work with me online. Maybe the exercise part of it is fine for them, but they actually want help with their mindset. And then, you know, they can start looking at things within the Worth More group. So it's really almost like I'm being paid to be on a platform that gives me access to potential customers and potential clients and people who need my help. And with that kind of like action being taken, in that sense that I've now started this job and I've put that action in place, on the flip side of that, I've also released everything, and I'm like, yeah, okay, things are cool, like just whatever will be. So I'm going to tell you a short story, which will probably end up being a long story because that's just how I tell stories. I was on shift on Monday. Started at 5:30 in the morning, and I was on till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And me and the manager that was on, we were just generally chit-chatting about, you know, standing on the front desk and me having that ability to speak to people, and that I have the intention and the hope that I will be chatting to people, and whether the individual who I'm chatting to decides, actually, yeah, I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to level up my health and wellness and I'm going to do PT with you, or whether it is a case of that individual goes away, they might end up being in a general conversation with a friend or family member or co-worker, and I pop into their mind as the first port of call to help whoever they're talking to. It's just about people getting to know who I am, that brand awareness of me. Anywho, so we're having a chat about that, and then I shit you not, 5, maximum 10 minutes later, a member walks around the corner, asks about classes and classes to help build their confidence with what they're doing in the gym. And we got into a conversation about personal training, and lo and behold, exactly the conversation I'd just been having with my manager just literally came into reality. And this person has decided to invest in a couple of PT sessions. That is how quick the universe can work. And some of you might be sat there thinking, Sarah, that's just a freaking coincidence, like, calm your pants down. But I'm going to give you another story that the following day, or it might have been the Wednesday, following day, 2 days later, I was on shift from 5:30 until 1 p.m. And I think it was about either 10 a.m, 11 a.m. You know, I had about 2, maybe 3 hours left of my shift. And my manager said to me, look, we have like quotas, if you will, from head office that we have to essentially get people to just come in and like try the gym, do a day pass or whatever every single day. Just try it, just dip the toes in and see if they like the gym. So we have like, you know, a quarter of people that we have to try and ease through the door every single day. And on this particular day, he was like, look, right, I want you to try and get at least one person to come in and do a 3-day pass, whether you go and grab them off the street or like it's a friend that you know, whatever. Just try and get me one. I was like, right, okay, that's fine. I was like, I'm just gonna put, like, this is what I said jokingly. I stood at the reception, and the front of the gym is all glass, big glass windows. And I said, right, I'm just gonna put it out there now. I'm gonna put out the energy that all the people are just gonna come to me, and everyone's gonna come in and go, I want to use the gym. And we laughed about it. I shit you not. About an hour later, an hour and a half later, 2 people came in within the space of 10 minutes and wanted to try the gym out on a 3-day pass. And then just before I left, at about 1:45, a gentleman came in and said, I think I want to join the gym. How incredible is that? I tell you this now because I promise you that is the power of manifestation. Like, when you can get into an energetic vibe, an energetic place of literally just like total release, which means, you know, not worrying about what's going to happen later today, what's going to happen at work tomorrow, what's going to happen at the weekend, what did people think of my outfit last night when I went out on the piss, and you know, that is anxiety. That is a level of stress. And when you can just totally release that anxiety, totally release that stress, and just float through each day, knowing that things will just work out for you, it's a totally different level of emotion and manifestation. Now, don't get me wrong, manifestation isn't just a case of putting it out there and being like, oh yeah, want this to happen. Because if that was the case, I would be a freaking millionaire. There's got to be a certain level of intention and a certain level of action taken, yeah? You can't just sit there all day on your sofa watching Netflix going, I want to make $2,000 this month by sitting on the sofa and watching Netflix. There has to be a certain level of action to allow the universe to provide. It's called co-creation, and it means that you have to cooperate with the universe. It needs a bit of you and it needs a bit of the universe. But manifestation is very much about just releasing that control. And I've known this for a long time, and I've kind of thought I was doing it, but evidently not, or it's been very hit and miss. And I do honestly feel now that there is that level of security with me having this part-time job in the gym, and with that level of security, it's also creating more opportunities, and essentially that action side of things, it's all kind of coming together, and that actual release and that feeling of letting go has actually fully come into reality. And I think for things to manifest quickly, that is something that needs to be nailed. So if you're finding that you're trying to manifest things and they're not really coming into fruition, or they're not coming into reality as you expected, then there's a few things that you need to look at. So one thing I would look at is, first of all, are you being very specific with what you're asking for? Because you could ask the universe, like just this day and age, let's say you're asking the universe for money. I just want more money. I need more money. I want X amount of money. So you can ask for that, but it's still not specific enough. More money could be having an extra, you could find a penny on the street. Having X amount of money, say £100, I want £100, it might give you £100 in value. So it's not actual physical money. It might be that it gives you £100 worth of £100 off your next purchase or something. You know, maybe you get £100 voucher to go towards your next ASOS order or something like that, right? So you need to be so specific. How much do you want? In what kind of stream do you want it to come through? So for me, for example, I might come up with a goal or manifestation that I want to have and how I don't want to say extra because that's not enough clarity, but you might say I want to have £500 in my self-employed bank account in April, for example. I've totally just made that up on the spot, by the way, but it's so much more specific than just saying I want more money or I want £100, because it can bring you it in so many different ways. So that's the first thing I would say in terms of manifestation. Make sure you are crystal clear with exactly what you're asking for. Once you've decided what you're going to ask for, you can literally say it out to the world, just like I did on those 2 occasions that I told you about getting more interest in my PT and having more clients through just standing on the reception desk, which is my part-time job, and also about having more people come in to try for a free day pass. Those 2 stories that I just told you alone, I literally said it out loud. I said it out loud. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying things out loud and saying your goals out loud. And we're always conditioned to keep what we want in. Like, blow all your candles out, make a wish on your birthday, but don't tell anyone because it won't come true. It's absolute bollocks. Tell everybody, tell people what you are working towards, and tell people that when this happens, X, Y, and Z, like, you need to feel like it's already happened and just feel the release of it. And that's the third step. You need to actually put some emotion and to the manifestation. So from a money point of view, if you're wanting X amount of money, be crystal clear with how much and how is it going to come to you. Is it going to land in your bank account? Is it going to be that you want a free holiday, to a 10-night holiday to the Caribbean, whatever? Then you need to say it out loud, share it with people, or when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that, when I receive this. And then you need to have the emotional attachment to it of knowing that it's happened. And that's probably the most difficult one. And that's the one that I'm learning now that I haven't been doing when I thought I was. I thought I was having that emotional connection to my goals, when actually, by trying to have that emotional connection to my goals, it actually came out more desperate energy, which I never even realised until I actually started this job. And I was just like so carefree and like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Oh yeah, what if this happened? Yeah, like we'll just put this energy out there. So it is just about having that, I don't know what to really, the emotion to call it, especially because everyone feels emotions differently. I think that's why I've struggled so far until now to get to that point where I do feel that release, because what someone else has said is a release of control is completely different to what I have been imagining that feels like, if that makes sense. So another thing that can help you with manifestation, I found, and to help you in terms of your mindset and releasing that stress and anxiety and worry and releasing that control, is crystals. Now, again, you may or may not believe in crystals, and you may sit there and think, oh, it's just a coincidence, blah, blah. But I'm a massive believer in it, and I'm also a massive believer in, if it's a placebo effect and it works, it works. If it's not a placebo effect, it still works. So it's a win-win. It doesn't matter if it's a placebo or not. Now, the two crystals that I've been massively using over the last couple of weeks are black tourmaline, which is really good for kind of protecting you against negative energy and just helping you to release negative energy, and citrine, which is known for bringing abundance. And abundance, again, doesn't necessarily mean financial abundance unless you set the intention. That's one of the main things that you need to bear in mind when you are using crystals and sage and anything like that, is to set the intention. What is your intention with that? So when I'm using my black tourmaline, when I'm using citrine, I will have the intention when I put them in my pocket for the day of staying away from negative energy, protecting me from negative energy, and bringing financial abundance to my business. So you can have the same thing with your manifestations. Like, what are your intentions with what you're wanting to manifest? Are you just wanting to manifest, X amount of money just because you want X amount of money? Or is it because what's the long game? So for me, my personal, money manifestations is because I want to be able to pay off the rest of my debt. Once I've paid off the rest of my debt, it means that I will have more money available to invest in my business, and then therefore make my client's journey and my client's experience much more exciting. I can give more, not just in terms of physical things that I can provide, but also energetically, I can provide more for my clients. I could invest in myself and my self-development and my learning more, so then I can give more to my clients as well. So the intention there is actually not, it might sound selfish, but it's not of a selfish nature, because it's about paying it forward. So those are my top tips for manifestation this week. I hope you have made some sense of my wonderful waffle this week. I hope everyone's enjoying their Easter half term. I'm actually going to go and enjoy a coffee with my Easter egg now. But thank you so much for spending this time with me. As always, please do give me a follow on Instagram. It is at Coaching with Sarah B, or at Worthmore Group. Please give this episode a like and do subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification button to make sure that you never ever miss an episode. Woo!